What if the world's biggest challenges, like climate change, resource scarcity, and inequality, were massive business opportunities? Sounds surprising, right? But that's exactly what Alice Mann argues in her book, Future First: How Successful Leaders Turn Innovation Challenges into New Value Frontiers. So, hey everyone, today I'm reviewing a short yet powerful book on how most successful business leaders aren't just reacting to global change, but they are building the future. Now, speaking about the author, Alice Mann is an organizational psychologist and business consultant who helps companies embed sustainability into their business strategy. Her central theme is that companies can't just focus on profits anymore. To grow and to survive, they need to turn the world's biggest challenges into engines of innovation. And that's what the book Future First is all about. The big theme or core message of Future First is simple, that global challenges aren't just risks for government to manage, they are new value frontiers. Mann says that leaders who think future first looks ahead instead of just reacting. They don't ask how do we survive this stage. Instead, they ask how do we lead through it and profit responsibly. That mindset, shifting from fear to foresight, is what separates companies that fail from those who redefine the entire industries. The author breaks down this mindset into few major shifts in leadership and strategy. The key ideas of the book can be divided into four. First one is overcoming presentism. Second one is seeing sustainability as an opportunity. Third one is practicing integrative thinking. Fourth one is transparency and collaboration. Now let's dive deeper into these 4 points. So firstly, presentism. One of the key ideas that Mann argues is presentism. That is overcoming presentism, which is our obsession with short-term goals. Mann argues that companies today focus on setting quarterly profits, chasing quarterly profits, and ignoring the long term view. But the best ones often zoom out and set decisions which will hold value for 5 to 10 years to come. The second one is seeing sustainability as an opportunity. Many companies feel sustainability as a cost, but future first leaders treat it as chances of innovation, like growth engines of innovation. Mann lists out companies which used environmental challenges as chances of innovation, like rethinking of packaging, sourcing cleaner raw materials, and increasing efficiency through circular packaging, etc. Sustainability isn't about doing good, it's about doing smart business. The third one is practicing integrative thinking. Future first leaders refuse to choose between purpose and profit. Instead, they look for solutions that achieve both of these goals. That is creating value for shareholders as well as for society. Mann calls this integrative thinking. That is holding two opposite values together until a better one emerges. Lastly, collaboration and transparency. Other than the above mentioned 3 points, the other big point that she mentioned is that no company can solve global problems alone. That's why future first organizations collaborate with governments, communities, and even competitors. Transparency and shared action, Mann says, are the only ways to tackle challenges like climate change and social inequity. Mann's ideas come to life through some fascinating examples. Unilever, for instance, built its growth strategy around sustainability and still managed to boost profits. Method, the eco-friendly claim brand turned green innovation into its mainstream design and branding. And Revolution Foods tackled child nutrition in the US, proving that social responsibility can be profitable. So each of these companies shows that a future first mindset isn't just idealistic, it's practical as well as profitable. What I really liked about the book is how optimistic yet realistic it felt. The book is just short, 125 pages, yet it's packed with clarity. The author doesn't drown you in jargon and theory. She gives you realistic frameworks which can be actually applied. The tone is really hopeful, reminding us that business can be both successful and responsible. For students, entrepreneurs, and leaders, this is an inspiring push to think bigger and think long term. Now, that being said, the book isn't perfect. Some parts feel a bit too surface level. You get the what part, but not always the detailed how element. And most of our examples come from already traditional, progressive companies. And it could have been better if she explored how traditional profit first companies could realistically make this shift. Still, the clarity of her message remains strong and it makes it worth reading, especially if you want to understand what modern, purpose driven leadership looks like. So, wrapping up, Future First isn't just a book, it's a mindset. It challenges us to not being passive observers of global changes and calls for us to start leading it. Alice Mann's key takeaways simple yet powerful. When you put the future first, you don't just survive, you create the next frontier of value. So, if you really care about leadership, sustainability, or entrepreneurship, this book will give you a different perspective of what success really looks like. So, that's my review of the book Future First by Alice Mann. Thank you for watching, and if you like it, do mention in the comments. And remember always to put your future first.